Have you ever caught yourself ignoring a news story because it challenged your deeply held beliefs? You're not alone. This tendency, known as motivated blindness, is a cognitive bias that leads us to overlook, reject, or downplay information that contradicts our worldview. It's easier, and often less emotionally taxing, to stay in our comfort zones, even if those zones are built on shaky ground. We cling to familiar narratives, even when evidence suggests we need a new story. Consider climate change. The scientific consensus is overwhelming. Human activity is driving global warming, yet some individuals and groups continue to deny this reality. Why? Because accepting it would require a fundamental shift in their understanding of the world and their place in it. It would necessitate changes in lifestyle, consumption patterns, and even political ideologies. This denial, however, comes at a steep price. By ignoring the mounting evidence of climate change, we delay crucial action, putting our planet and future generations at risk. The longer we cling to comfortable falsehoods, the more difficult and disruptive the eventual reckoning will be. The human mind is wired to seek coherence and consistency. We crave a sense of order and predictability in a world often characterized by chaos and uncertainty. When faced with information that disrupts our carefully constructed worldview, our instinct is often to reject it, especially if it challenges our deeply held beliefs, values, or group affiliations. Take, for instance, the issue of vaccination. Despite overwhelming scientific evidence demonstrating the safety and efficacy of vaccines, some parents refuse to vaccinate their children. They fall prey to misinformation and conspiracy theories, often spread through online echo chambers that fuel their fears and anxieties. This motivated ignorance can have dire consequences. Outbreaks of preventable diseases like measles and whooping cough are on the rise in some parts of the world, largely due to declining vaccination rates. This resurgence is a stark reminder that choosing belief over evidence can have serious, even deadly repercussions. The consequences of motivated blindness extend far beyond individual decision-making. When large segments of society choose to ignore inconvenient truths, it undermines our collective ability to address pressing social, political, and environmental challenges. Consider the rise of political polarization. In many democracies, people are retreating into ideological echo chambers, surrounding themselves with information that confirms their existing biases and demonizes opposing viewpoints. This selective exposure to information exacerbates divisions, making constructive dialogue and compromise increasingly difficult. This inability to engage in meaningful discourse has a corrosive effect on democratic institutions. When people are unwilling to listen to opposing viewpoints or consider alternative perspectives, it erodes trust in institutions and hampers our ability to find common ground. The internet, while a powerful tool for information sharing, has also contributed to the proliferation of motivated ignorance. Social media algorithms designed to keep users engaged often trap individuals in echo chambers and filter bubbles, where they are primarily exposed to information that confirms their existing beliefs. These online spaces can become breeding grounds for misinformation and disinformation as like-minded individuals share and reinforce each other's biases. Fact-checking and critical thinking often take a backseat to emotional appeals and sensationalized narratives. This constant exposure to one-sided information can have a warping effect on our perceptions of reality. It can lead to a phenomenon known as groupthink, where individuals within a group feel pressured to conform to the dominant narrative, even if it contradicts their own observations or beliefs. Overcoming motivated ignorance requires a conscious effort to break free from our comfort zones and engage with uncomfortable truths. It demands intellectual humility, a willingness to admit when we're wrong, and a commitment to seeking out diverse perspectives. One crucial step is to diversify our information diets. We need to actively seek out news and perspectives from sources outside our usual bubbles. This might involve reading articles from publications with different editorial leanings, following experts with whom we don't always agree, or engaging in respectful dialogue with people who hold opposing viewpoints. Another important step is to cultivate critical thinking skills. We must learn to evaluate information objectively, questioning our own biases and scrutinizing the sources of our information. This includes developing media literacy skills to identify misinformation and disinformation, particularly online. Confronting our biases and challenging our beliefs is not always easy. It can be uncomfortable, even painful, to acknowledge that our understanding of the world might be flawed. However, this willingness to embrace discomfort is essential for personal growth and societal progress. By acknowledging our blind spots, we open ourselves up to new information, new perspectives, and ultimately a more nuanced and accurate understanding of the world. This intellectual humility allows us to engage in more constructive dialogue, bridge divides, and work together to address the complex challenges facing humanity. The cost of ignorance is high, but by embracing intellectual curiosity, cultivating critical thinking skills, and engaging with diverse perspectives, we can overcome motivated blindness and create a brighter future for ourselves and generations to come.